Well, hello there, YouTube. I'm on the old Venture. It's seeing this thing was built in like September, I think it was, of '82. It's an '83 model, but technically she's a 33-year-old motorcycle, and I'm on my way to Chehalis, to the super Walmarts out here, to buy yet another 3 terabyte hard drive. I keep buying the Toshibas. It was on sale. I bought one here, the first one, geez, a couple years ago or something, where I think the 1 terabyte external hard drive was like a big deal at the time. God, I think I paid over, it was like $140 or something for it. Now you can buy a 3 terabyte one for like $80. And if you guys are going to go to Walmart's to buy something like this, make sure you look online, because this thing's $80 online. Well, it's $109 in the store. I was at Walmart's last Sunday and I thought, oh crap, I need another hard drive. Well, if you're in the store, your app knows you're in there, so you don't get the special price. So get the hell away from the store and you can order it. But anyway, I wasn't going to pay the price because I know it's cheaper online. So I did that this morning, because I've been using my laptop, and I've got like 20 gigs left of a 1 terabyte hard drive in my laptop, because I can't, my last external hard drive is filled up. I don't buy the 4, 5, or 6 terabyte hard drives yet. One, you go to the 6 terabyte one and it's not cost effective. You can buy 2, 3 terabytes for less than 1, 6. And like any of those things, the bigger you get, until these things get well established, they tend to be a little unreliable. If I'm putting all my videos and photographs and everything on there, I need to know my hard drive's going to be reliable. And so far these Toshibas have been just trouble-free. But one of the nice things about it, they all come with a USB, it's a special one that plugs into the hard drive, and then regular USB-A on the other side, of course, and then a weird-looking power port. So what I have is a little station sitting off to the side of my desk, and I tag the hard drives. I just put some Scotch tape or whatever on there, and I write, from what date to what date, from the beginning, the first videos and photos, first whatever put on there. There's always videos and photos. From the first one's put on until the last one's put on. And I try to leave, I'm a big fan of leaving 25% of the hard drive open. But here lately, and I haven't had any issues, because I only pull old footage off of them. So I've been going down to 10%. I'll leave at least 10% on there. 10%, or, it's usually around 11 or 12 or something, unless I'm really trying to push something. But anyway, you got to have enough room for things to function in there. Ideally, you need to have about 25% to be safe anyway. But that's probably old terminology. And I haven't upgraded to the solid state ones. They're not at a price point yet that I mess with them. I mean, a much nicer and obviously way faster and smaller package, and most of those don't even need the power supply. You just simply have, it's like the little portable ones like I take on trips or whatever. So anyway, this hard drive ran out, and I've been postponing getting one, so I've been using my little 2 terabyte, which I think is also a Toshiba, the little laptop size one, the 2.5 inch or whatever they are hard drive, that just requires USB. Well, it's USB 3.0, but still, the thing's it's not very fast. So yes, it is raining. I'm using the 4 black and the Cena with the going through the 20S headset. and it's in the Cena waterproof case, which, as I've discussed, in a good downpour, this thing's not completely waterproof. And I'm not wearing any of my rain gear. I'm wearing my Columbia sportswear jacket, which is water resistant, so it'll just repel, beat up, and just roll off of me for a while. But I do have my rain gear in the back trunk there in case I come out of Walmart's and it's Typhoon Mary outside. But anyway, I've been using that little portable one to stuff things over, and I like leaving that thing empty. So my first task is to drag everything from that over to the new hard drive, and then burn off. What I usually do is just grab a whole bunch, send them over as I go to bed, because even with a USB 3.0 and you're pushing that many gigabytes, it takes a while. It takes a long while to push that over. So I probably have, right out of the gate, basically a terabyte worth of stuff. There's not a whole lot on that portable one. And I quit using it too. When my hard drive turns red, then I'll push over a few gigabytes to it. But anyway, the reason I keep going with the Toshibas is I leave one power supply and one USB cable sitting there, and I just simply swap between the hard drives. And I usually don't go back a whole lot, so once they're on there, they're there. For whatever reason, other than photos, if I'm looking for a photo in particular, I'll go back. But anyway, that makes it easy. You're not, you don't have cables going everywhere. You're consistent with your hard drive, and you just unplug one, plug the other one in. And then it doesn't boot up or anything until you plug it into the laptop or computer or whatever you're plugging it into. Well, I might be putting that rain gear on after all here. She's getting a little bit sprinkly here. I'm trying to find a happy spot for this shield, because where I had it, the water's splashing up and hitting my glasses. It's like running down my shield and then flipping in at me. So we're getting close to Halloween here, I hope. But the colors haven't changed. Usually, and I discussed this in other vlogs, usually we're way more into the fall look. It's October 17th. And look at this. There's not a lot of fall color. I mean, it's slowly sneaking in. But this house right here, when these trees are in full bloom, is absolutely gorgeous. And I love they're real big at their Halloween motif. But I goofed up, and I did about 15 minutes worth of vlogging until I realized I didn't turn my Cena headset on yet. So that pisses me off, especially with this Hero 4 Black. If you're lucky, you get 40 minutes worth of battery out of it. But I've been shooting with ProTune on, and I think I only get about a half an hour out of it. So, whatever. But I have batteries at the ready. And the one bad thing is I don't have the GoPro batteries. I have those Smart Tree batteries, which are, those Chinese replicas like the Wasabis and stuff like that. And they do not last in a Hero 4. So if I get 40 minutes out of it normal, I'll be lucky to get a half an hour out of it with those Smart Tree batteries. I mean, it is nice. I mean, you get 2 batteries, a charger, and, cords. You can even, a cord so you can charge it to a cigarette lighter and everything else, but port, for less than the price of one GoPro battery. So I guess in the end, but I hate having to swap them out all the time. And, the other thing I wanted to report too is, not only, and I did a full day test yesterday using the black, and all the conditions that would normally make it do that exposure switching thing, whatever is in that firmware 3.0 fixed it. Absolutely fixed it. The problems are 100% gone. I didn't change cards. In fact, it still has the same. I never take the cards out. I just plug the GoPro into GoPro USB port on my laptop and push the photos over, videos and photos. But so it's the same card. I knew it wasn't a card problem. I spent a fortune on cards, getting different ones to make sure everything was cool. Oh, snap. You know what? The tags are expired on this thing. Holy crap. That was the bike. I took you guys along for a ride on that Ultra, that 2014 Electric Glide Ultra Limited, and I went to the DMV. Did I post that? I think I did. Yeah, that's where it didn't have, the guy swapped out the derby cover and didn't put a gasket of any kind in there. What a moron. But anyway, what makes me feel so bad about that is that I didn't catch that. It's just the way I take them off, you know. I pull the derby cover off and I lay it on a clean microfiber, which absorbs all any oil and residue that's in there, and I just pick it up and set it back on. But I should have noticed I didn't feel that O-ring feel in there. Don't know how I done that when I did the used vehicle inspection on it. And irregardless of the mileage, whatever, we change chain case, tranny, and engine oils to Redline products. We got some Torco too, but it's non-synthetic. And for the old beaters and stuff like that, you know, the old ones, we use the Torco stuff, which is perfectly fine. I mean, really, if you're changing your oil often enough, you know, a good branded oil that's even non-synthetic is going to be perfectly fine. Where things make a big difference is, you know, if you don't change your oil often enough, that can break down. The base of the oil is just more processed with a synthetic oil, and it takes a lot longer to break down. And that extra processing is where the extra price comes in. And you know, being called synthetic just means there's been more man-made filtering of the oil. And of course, all oils have their additives and stuff that's added to them. Detergents, corrosion prohibitors, and different little things here and there. Look at this old guy out here holding the sign thing. Imagine having that job. You know, it's like at tax time, all the tax people on street. You see it all, like in Vancouver. They're all over the place. But there's different things going on. There's these guys that stand at the corner of our store every single day. I don't even, you know, I pay so little attention to them. I don't even know what they're showing. It's some store that opened up or something. But they're standing on the sidewalk. We can't. I mean, they're not in front of our store. They're like on the corner, so I don't think we have any say over them doing that anyway. We don't own the sidewalk. So anyway, I was just going to bounce on and say hey. Didn't really have any stories to talk about other than this is the first time riding the Venture in 6 months and 9 days. The last time I rode it was April 8th, and that was today. In fact, it was my first Hero 4 Silver was doing the weird exposure shifting when I was riding home in that downpour. And I filled her up, you know, at the gas station nearest to my house, that little Texaco, and drove her home, treated the gas, and drained the carburetors, and she's been sitting there ever since. And of course, I cycle the batteries or the Chargers. I've got two. I got one of the Honda ones. I need to buy another one of them. And it's not really a Honda. It's just Honda branded. We get them at a better price so we can sell them at a better price. It's an Optimate 3 Plus, I think is what it's called. I think they're Swedish made. But it's one of only two Chargers that are warranty approved by American Honda. If you don't use one of those Chargers or their larger version of it, that's just a multi-bay Charger. Honda has a special tool that you hook up to the battery, and you run a test, and it'll tell you, the battery's bad. And it tells you the percentage of life and percentage of charge and all this other stuff, but it tells you it's bad. Well, to do a warranty claim, you go into, it's a digital thing. You go into a menu and it produces like a 7 or 8 digit code. And we have no legend of what that code stands for. But when we go to file the claim, it tells Honda that code deciphers into something that we can't see. And they'll either accept or deny the claim. Usually deny it. And it's almost every battery failure is for two things. It's neglect, or the thing is just so old it just finally ended its life. The last battery I had in this thing lasted 8 years, and I think I actually did a vlog, or maybe I was bragging to somebody about this battery lasting 8 years. And I walked past it in the shop one day, and that LCD clock up there is always on. I have no idea if that's the right time either. It's saying 4:06. But anyway, I walked by and the LCD's not on. I went, uh-oh. And I'm thinking, man, it hasn't been that long since I cycled the Charger with that thing. That battery was sacked. It was like an open circuit. There was nothing left in that thing. And I go, son of a gun, I had to go bragging about the thing. So I bought another Yuasa maintenance free. Now these don't come with a maintenance free. And if you have one of these old Yamahas, you can buy it's a YTX 20 LBS. And it'll bolt right in. But you'll notice that you have that battery acid level monitor that goes into your, your standard lead acid battery that these things came with. You just simply unplug that, make a jumper, and connect that jumper to the positive side of the battery, and it'll disarm that system, and you won't get the warning light that you got a low acid level in your battery. Pretty cool, huh? So how long have I been going here? 16 minutes? I'm just pondering here if I should take you guys up on the historic hillside. I haven't. It's been a few weeks since I've done that. It's not raining at the moment. And I do have other gloves. Even in my rain survival pack, I have a set of old sport bike gloves in there that they're not waterproof, but they're better than just having those vented climbs. And the climb gloves that I have in the trunk of this are the same as those yellow and black climbs that you guys see me wearing a lot, but they were one size too big. I wear extra large gloves, and for whatever reason those climbs were size too big. They seemed fine at first, but the fingers were too long. And like hitting buttons or whatever and doing whatever, the fingers were too long and the leather just folded over. So I bought some large, which were crazy too tight. And I checked other extra larges that we had on the shelf, and it was common amongst all the extra larges. They were too big. Just a young kid. High-five me down the road. I think that probably hit him a little harder than he was expecting. That actually stung my hand. That little kid's probably thinking, damn. That was the stop sign right there, wasn't it? Yeah. But with some hope here, there'll be some beautiful, oh, look at that. There'll be some beautiful colors back here. It really gets nice back here. On one of my Sunday drives, no, I didn't take the iron through here, did I? No. I don't even remember what I drove through here last. Seems like I was down here and I decided to take you guys through to see if the colors had changed, and they hadn't at the time. And really, it, for the most part, hasn't now, but it is pretty. It's a different look. It's just not a, you know, that green pop. You can see that things are changing. I think I got too much air in that rear shock. She feels a little too stiff. Now, you would think this would be a one-way street, but there's no signage of any kind saying so. I think just the people that live here just make it a habit of doing that. Here's a Honda Ridgeline that's facing the wrong way. Well, I guess I should say facing the other way, because it, like I say, it's not one way. Ooh, look at them leaves. That ought to be slick as snot, huh? Ooh. Didn't like that. I grabbed a handful to do a burnout, and she back flushed through the capitulators here. She ain't used to being ridden, the poor old gal. Oh yeah, I love the leaves, and especially when they're on the ground like that. It's so pretty. Kind of deadly for a motorcycle, but nothing says you have to drive through here fast. Yeah, this must have been a momentary thing. Now she's fine. What, you talking about something that does great wheelies? These things do fantastic wheelies. But if I can find the pictures, I'll show you what my drive shaft spline going into the rear diff looks like. All it's going to take is one wheelie or one burnout on dry ground, and you're just going to hear this, and she's going to stop propelling, and the drive shaft is discontinued. And it's only the shaft. The coupler and the differential's fine. Just poor match of metals or something back then. And then he's going to look for the dog. Oh, look at the size of that pumpkin he's got out front. Hey, the garage doors are open. Where's the... Oh, he's sitting there on a little bed inside the garage. That poor old dog used to chase me all the time. In fact, I used to come up here on this with Kelly all the time and get chased by him. Must be just getting old. We all get old and stop doing our crazy things, don't we? Oh, look at that tree right there. Isn't that pretty? I love when they don't rake their leaves right away and you get the nice little spill out underneath there, underneath the tree. But the drive shaft on these things have a Zerk fitting, and there's, you know, every so often you're supposed to fill that with grease, and that's supposed to lube that coupler. But the way that the thing is designed, the grease gets around it, but not in it. What the grease is lubricating does nothing. It needs to get in the coupler and the spline, and it doesn't. So every time you change a tire on one of these things, you need to lube it. But I do it halfway when the tire gets like halfway, because the tires last so dang long on these things. The lube just centrifugally spins out of it. Nice folks walking down the road. But I'm most certainly going to have to put a battery in this thing, because I think it's about 15 minutes worth of vlogging I did before I realized, damn, is this somebody stand? Yeah. Before I realized the remote wasn't on. That seemed a little eerie, didn't it? Because that guy absolutely was not moving at all. I'm wondering, is it some kind of a Halloween trick or what? Why is that guy flashing his lights? warning me that he was there, or what's the deal? Should we spin and do half of the downtown thing? Why not, right? Right? I can't take a left here. Oh, jeez. This thing's got horrible brakes. It's funny, you know, you used to the way you drive and you just come late braking up to a stop sign, and you ride something that has bad brakes and you get yourself a little bit of a surprise there. My turn signal switch is very stiff for some reason. Or maybe it's always been that way and it's been so long I forgot. I guess we'll roll you in. We'll go across the tracks and that's 12. Everything's all about 12 here in Washington for the Seahawks. This is a crazy fruit processing thing. They do corn and carrots. All them heat piles, if you can see that, those are all carrots. It's amazing how nasty and dirty them things look. It's kind of weird to think that they're just heat. Oh, you can see the corn here. It's amazing how those things are just heat piled, and then at some point you're going to buy them and bring them home and eat them. Yeah, is there a reason why we're stopping? There's no stop sign. Let's not stop in the tracks, though. It kind of freaked me out when I looked down and seen the headlights on that semi-truck. I gotta admit to that. Man, getting ran over by a train. Of course, very few live to tell about it, but what a horrifying thing. They're kind of like semi. I'm getting a little stumble off the bottom there. Oh, I forgot. I got something going on with this thing. I either got a plug cap going bad or some ignition type thing that's going on. It's not the carburetors. But it gets to a point and it'll stumble down low. And these things are kind of famous for the plug caps going bad on them. One day I drove up to Mount St. Helens, and the road was clear, but there was like, you know, feet of snow around. But you could get up to Elk Rock, and I think once you got down to Coldwater Lake, they had things blocked off. And anyway, I stopped at Elk Rock. I just went up there for shits and giggles to go drive up there. And I get up there and my hands just were freezing. So there's these vents and you can stick your hands down by the rear two cylinders, a V4, by the rear two cylinders, you know, and that feels so good. I can feel the heat slowly starting to work your way through them gloves, you know. And as I'm warming up, I keep getting these like spikes. I'm thinking, God, my hands are so cold. You know, I'm getting these like nervous little electric pulses through my hands, you know. And I don't know how I didn't notice it right away, but as they got warm, you know, I was like, all of a sudden it just lit right into me. I was like, wow, what in the holy hell, you know. So I'm like, what the hell? So I stick my hand down there again, and it was bow, 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 bow. The freaking plug caps were leaking. And like I say, I have no idea why I didn't feel the shocking at first. But every time I stuck my hand down there, you could actually hear the thing snapping around. But when I did that, I'm not sure I replaced the front ones. I think I checked them and they were fine at the time. So that could be what it is. But I forgot about that. That's probably when I grabbed a handful there. It went, I don't know if you guys heard it pop through the airbox. Anyway, I'm here at Wally World, and before I can, geez, almost 30 minutes too. I need to run over to Home Depot as well and see if I can get Kelly one of these stir things. And she needs, we had a 2-inch hole saw, and we can't find it. So I need to buy another one of them damn things too. And there's a couple things I need to grab in here as well. So I got a hard drive and a vacuum cleaner belt. And online they're not showing the HEPA filter for vacuum. That thing's, it's due to be replaced. But it's not showing it there, but I'm gonna go roam over and see, because sometimes not everything shows that they have. I'm gonna park in my favorite little spot here, but usually there's not somebody sitting here, so this may freak him out. Alrighty. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on my ride to Chehalis. At least it's not raining down here yet. Usually it rains here more than it does at my house. So let's lock her down. That's it. I'll talk to you guys later on. We'll see ya. Bye-bye now.